Okay, so I think I have figured out a way to explain the radical functions that have been translated using a reflection. Again, those are the ones that have this negative sign in here, okay? So I'm going to start by reviewing again what the parent function always is. The parent function is just a simple square root sign, so we always choose values that we know are perfect squares, so I kind of began with those. So I plotted those points, and what I want to show you is what happens in a basic reflection, and then I'll show you what happens when we do a reflection and we have a shift either horizontally or vertically. Because what's going to make this easier is before I was having you do the horizontal and vertical shift and having you do that first and then reflecting it, which I think may be a little bit confusing for you guys. So it might be easier for us to do the reflection first and then translate the reflected line or the reflected graph horizontally or vertically. Okay, so I'll do an example of one of those in a minute. But so what's already on here right now is the graph of the parent function, these points here. A reflection, and I kind of plugged these in already, but a reflection is going to basically make the y values turn to the opposite. So 0 obviously doesn't have that happen because the negative doesn't affect the 0. But if I put a 1 in here, the square root of 1 is 1. And so the negative makes the output -1. If I stick a 4 in here, the square root of 4 is 2, but the negative turns it negative, so it's -2. And if I stick a 9 in here, the square root of 9 is 3, but again, the negative makes it -3. So those points, 0, 0 is going to stay, but these points are going to get reflected in this x-axis. So the point 1, 1 became the point 1, -1. The point 4, 2 became 4, -2. And the point 9, 3 became 9, -3. So the general reflection is those exact same points just reflected on the other side, okay? So it might help us to start from that point in order to be able to do and graph the rest of these, okay? So that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to erase, let me erase the information again. Just keep in mind at all times the reflection is going to be the opposite of the parent function, okay? So when I am presented with something like this, I have two things to notice here. It's a reflection, and there is a vertical shift down 5, okay? So what I'm going to do first, and let me change that 5. Actually, let me make it something a little smaller so it doesn't go off the graph. We'll do 3, okay? So what I'm going to do first, and this might make it easier, is rather than taking the original points, again, these are the original points, rather than taking those points and shifting them, okay, shifting them down 3 first, I'm going to reflect them first and then shift them 3. So remember, these points, when they shift, they're going to keep 0, 0, but you're going to have 1, -1, 4, -2, and 9, -3. Okay? So I'm going to basically put my cursor, or if you're doing this with paper, your pencil, on these points and shift them down 3. So 0, 0 is obviously going to move down 3. 1, 2, 3. It'll become there. 1, -1 would be here. It moves down 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, -2, which would be here, is going to move down 3. 1, 2, 3. And 9, 3 is 9, -3, and it's going to move down 3. 1, 2, 3. So then you can see how my graph translates. So I think it's going to be easier for you to do the reflection first, and then after you do the reflection, then you can go ahead and shift it up, down, left, or right. Okay, let's do another one. Okay. So let's do one that has a horizontal shift. Okay. So again, you still see we have this reflection and we have a horizontal shift, and that horizontal shift is to left. And then of course this is the reflection. So again, remember what the original reflection of the parent function was, okay? 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 4, negative 2, 9, negative 3. So when I get ready to do this, I'm going to do that first. Put my finger, my cursor, your pencil, whatever you're using, on that point, and then shift it 2 to the left. So 0, 0, that one stays the same. So it's here. I'm just going to shift it 2 left. It's going to end up there. But 1, negative 1 is originally here. It's going to shift 2 left. 1, 2. 4, negative 2 is originally here. It's going to shift 2 left. 1, 2. Whoops. And then 9, 3 would be 9, negative 3. It's going to shift 2 left. 1, 2. And again, now I can draw in my graph. Okay? So again, taking the original reflection and translating that is going to be a little bit easier. So maybe a lot easier than translating it left, right, up, or down and then reflecting it. Okay? All right, one more. Let's do one where we have a lot of them. Lots to translate, all 3. Okay. So here we are again. We have 3 things this time. We have a reflection. We have a horizontal shift, and since it's a negative, it's going to be 1 to the right. And then I have this K value, which is positive, so that's up 2. But again, it's going to be easiest for me to do the reflection first. And again, remember the reflection keeps the point 0, 0, but then all the other points, the Y value becomes negative. Okay? So let's start with those. Okay? Let's start with those points, and then we'll shift them 1 to the right and up 2. Now 0, 0 stays the same. It's just going to go 1 to the right and up 2. But 1, negative 1 was down here. It's going to go 1 to the right and up 2. 4, negative 2 was down here. It's going to go 1 to the right and up 2. 4, 9, negative 3 would be here. It's going to go 1 to the right and up 2. So now I'm ready to draw in my graph. Okay? So I think doing the reflection first might be a little bit easier for you guys to understand. So I would start with the reflection first, then do the translation of the reflection. Okay? Hopefully that gives you guys some help there.